Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to cover the quiz related to the recently created post of CDS. CDS stands for Chief of Defence Staff. So now let's start. Who has been appointed as India's first Chief of Defence Staff? So recently, after the creation of Chief of Defence Staff post, the government appointed former Army Chief General Bipin Rawat as first CDS. General Bipin Rawat is outgoing Army Chief, and next Army Chief is Mr. Manoj Mukund Narwane. He recently took charge as a Chief of Army Staff, and General Manoj Mukund Narwane is the 28th Chief of Army Staff. The upper age limit of CDS has been fixed at, right answer is 65 years. So the government has notified the service rules of Army, Navy and Air Force to extend the age of superannuation from 62 years to 65. So now the upper age limit for the post of CDS is 65 years old, and former Army Chief General Bipin Rawat will remain on the post till the age of 65 years. Which committee recommended the creation of post of CDS? Actually, the first proposal for CDS came from 1999 Kargil Review Committee. Now, this Kargil Review Committee did not directly recommend a CDS. This committee underlined that there is a need for more coordination among three services, that is Army, Navy and Air Force. Therefore, the proposal for setting up a post of CDS was contemplated around 20 years ago by this KRC. Now, this Kargil Review Committee was headed by Mr. K. Subramaniam. However, because of the political consensus, this decision for the creation of post was not taken, and it was pending since then. Which committee approved the creation of Chief of Defence Staff? Right answer is CCS, that is Cabinet Committee on Security, approved the creation of CDS on 24th of December. Now, if we talk about cabinet committees, all committees other than Committee on Parliamentary Affairs and Committee on Accommodation are headed by Prime Minister of India. Now these two committees, that means Committee on Parliamentary Affairs and Committee on Accommodation, are headed by Home Minister. Now coming back to this Cabinet Committee on Security, this Cabinet Committee on Security is the final decision-making body appointments of senior officials in national security apparatus, and this CCS is chaired by Prime Minister of India. CDS will play which type of role? Right answer is all of the above. That means CDS is going to play double-headed role. CDS is going to be the military advisor to the Nuclear Command Authority, and CDS is also going to be the principal military advisor to Defense Ministry. Now, what is the meaning of dual-headed role? Actually, CDS is the permanent chairman of Chief of Staff Committee, and the Chief of three services, that means Chief of Army, Navy and Air Force, are the members of this Chief of Staff Committee, and CDS is going to be the permanent chairman of this Chief of Staff Committee. Now CDS is also going to play one more role, that is CDS is going to be the head of newly created Department of Military Affairs, that is DMA. So why it is a double-headed role? Because first, CDS is going to be the permanent chairman of Chief of Staff Committee, and the Chief of Army, Navy and Air Force are going to be the members of this Chief of Staff Committee. Second thing is that CDS is going to be the head of newly created Department of Military Affairs. In addition to that, CDS is also going to be the single point military advice to the government for better coordination among the forces. Apart from that, CDS will also function as a military advisor to the Nuclear Command Authority, and CDS is also going to be the member of DAC, that is Defense Acquisition Council, and DPC, that is Defense Planning Committee. Now answer in comment box, who is the chairperson of Defense Acquisition Council? CDS, that is Chief of Defence Staff, will serve the permanent chairman of which committee? We have already discussed this thing. CDS is going to be the permanent chairman of COSC, that is Chief of Staff Committee. Now, before the post of CDS, the chairmanship of COSC was not permanent, and the senior most service chief used to be the temporary chairman of this COSC. Chief of Defence Staff will fall under which ministry? Right answer is Ministry of Defense. So Ministry of Defense is responsible for coordinating and supervising the functions of government which are related to national security and which are related to Indian Armed Forces. The President of India is the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, and Ministry of Defense is the administrative authority of Armed Forces. So Indian Army, Navy, Air Force and Indian Coast Guard are under the administrative purview of Ministry of Defense. Which department does not belong to Defense Ministry? Right answer is Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. Actually, Ministry of Defense had 4 departments: Department of Defense, Department of Defense Production, Department of Defense Research and Development, and last one is Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare. Now, the 5th department was created under Ministry of Defense, and the name of this department is DMA, that is Department of Military Affairs, and this DMA is going to be headed by the CDS. This Department of Scientific and Industrial Research is under Ministry of Science and Technology. Army, Navy and Air Force will fall under which department? Right answer is DMA. Actually, till now, Army, Navy and Air Force used to come under Department of Defense. However, as per the latest notification of December 2019, now these forces will come under the ambit of DMA, that is Department of Military Affairs. Who is responsible for the defense of country? Right answer is DOD, that is Department of Defense. So as per the latest notification issued by the Government of India, the DOD, that is Department of Defense, will be responsible for the defense of India, and DOD is headed by Defense Secretary. Answer in comment box who is present Defense Secretary. So these were the most important questions related to CDS. Thank you, and that's all for the day.